Hello, Dinesh. How are you going?
Yeah, like you see, I'm practicing to playing a guitar.
Okay. Alright, Dinesh. So here we are, diving into the concept of morality. I mean, just the word itself brings up all sorts of big questions, right? Like, what is morality at its core? For me, it's about understanding what's right and wrong and choosing to do what is right. But it feels like, especially nowadays, the lines can get a bit blurry. How do you see it?
That's true, yeah. Morality can sound simple in theory, but it's actually quite layered. I think it's about respecting others, showing kindness, honesty, all those values. We have been taught since we were kids, but as you know, as we grow, those concepts get challenged by the society, media, and even personal ambition. Sometimes it feels like it's been good isn't enough anymore.
Yeah, especially when success seems defined by things like wealth, fame, or power. Like, ever noticed how people praise entrepreneurs and influencers, but we don't always look at how they got there. Did they stay true to their values, or was it just about winning all the costs?
Exactly. It's almost like we reward the results without questioning the process. I mean, how many times have we heard stories about successful people who bend to the rules? Yet they are seen as role models. Sometimes I wonder if we are sending the wrong message to young people about what it means to be successful.
Good point. And speaking of young people, they are the ones watching all this unfold. They are seeing these examples and wondering, do I follow what I was taught at home, or do I go with what I see out there? It's like a moral tug of war. So let's explore this whole idea of moral decline. Where is it coming from? I think one big factor is technology. With social media and the internet, young people are exposed to endless streams of content. Sometimes it's positive, but often it's just a highlight reel where everyone looks like they are living perfect lives.
Yes, it's like everyone's creating a version of themselves that isn't fully real. Social media becomes a space where values like honesty and humanity can get lost because it's more about likes than being genuine. Plus, the constant need to be liked can make people act in the way they wouldn't otherwise.
Right? And it's not just individuals, it's a whole culture of instant gratification. When everything is about fast result, who has time to think about whether it's the right things to do? I mean, it's all about quick wins and going viral. And even kindness is sometimes turned into a challenge for the views.
Yes, so like those videos where people record themselves giving food to the homeless. It's a good deed, yes, but that is posted online for only the likes. Makes you wonder if the intention is kindness or just self-promotion.
Exactly. And then there's materialism we need in a society that often equates success with wealth and luxury. When success is defined by what you have, it's easy to justify cutting a few corners. Like, what's a little lie if it means you get to the top faster, right?
Yes, and this mindset can be especially tough to the young people who might think that being morally upright is a luxury only the rich can afford. It's like saying, be moral, but only if it's convenient for your success. This kind of thinking can lead to a lack of integrity.
True, and it doesn't help that peer pressure plays a big role too. If all if all your friends are cutting corners or following superficial trends, it's hard to be the one saying, "Hey, maybe we should think about what's right." No one wants to be the odd one out. So Danish, let's talk about family influence. Families are usually the prestigious of morality, but with parents working longer hours nowadays, kids may not get as much guidance at home as they used to. Do you think this has an impact?
Definitely, Ziad. Parents are crucial in teaching morals, but if they are not around as much, kids may look for guidance elsewhere, like their peers or online. And well, the internet doesn't exactly offer the best moral guidance.
True. Imagine looking up to a social media influencer whose main talent is throwing cakes in people's faces. Not exactly the role model for kindness and respect.
Yeah, and family teach through example. If kids see their parents practicing kindness, honesty, and respect, they naturally adopt to their values. But if they are left to learn from whatever they see online, the result can be questionable.
Right? Families set the foundation, but maybe communities can help support parents too. What if communities organize workshops or family events that encourage parents and kids to talk about values? That might help bridge some of these gaps. Now, let's talk about how this moral decline impacts young people in Malaysia specifically. We are a culturally diverse country, and that's great. But it also means there are a lot of different values at play. Sometimes, young people might feel lost trying to balance that. What do you think, Danish?
Yes, exactly. Young Malaysians are often caught between traditional values and the modern global influences. On one hand, they are taught to respect their elders and uphold their family's honor. On the other hand, they are influenced by global trends that might not always align with these traditional values.
And that confusion can lead to a lack of self-identity. Young people might start to feel isolated or question their own beliefs, not knowing which values to follow. It's like they're constantly caught in a balancing act.
Right. And that struggle can affect their mental health too. When young people don't have a strong sense of who they are, it impacts their self-esteem. They might start to feel insecure or even disconnected from their own culture.
Yes, and this affects relationships too. Without a clear sense of values, it's harder for young people to put trust and respect in their friendships and even family connections. And if everyone is focused on individual success, it becomes harder to see the importance of community values. Alright, Danish, let's think about solutions. What can we do to help strengthen morality among young people? For starters, I think education could play a big role. Schools could teach not just academics, but also focus on moral education. What do you think?
Yes, dear. Schools have a unique opportunity here. Teachers are in a position to not only teach knowledge, but also being a good model of a good behavior. And it's not just about lecturing. Maybe schools could involve students in projects that promote kindness, empathy, and teamwork.
Yes, like community service or team activities that require students to work together and practice empathy. It's all about showing these values in action, not just talking about them.
Definitely. And parents should be part of this too. If schools and families work together, kids get a consistent message about what is important. When young people see that these values matter in all parts of their life, they are more likely to adopt them.
Oh, and religious organizations could also pitch in. They could offer workshops or talks focused on values, especially for young people. Sometimes it just takes one inspiring mentor or leader to help guide them. Let's not overlook the role of media. Since young people are so influenced by what they see online, maybe we can encourage media to promote more positive messages. Imagine if more influencers share real stories that focus on kindness and honesty.
That would be a refreshing change, yeah. If influencers promote values instead of just products, it could have a huge impact. I mean, wouldn't it be great if we saw more people getting famous for just being genuinely kind?
Let's get rhyming, right?
Yes.
And not just influencers, TV shows, movies, even advertisement could focus more on positive messages. When media celebrates kindness, generosity, or honesty, it subtly encourages people to embrace these values.
Right. And let's don't forget about social media. Platforms could reward positive contents. Maybe by boosting posts that promotes good deeds. It's about creating an online culture that values character.
Alright, Danish. Another important point we should cover is personal responsibility. I mean, we can talk about family, schools, and media all day long, but at the end of the day, each person has to make their own choices about what's right and wrong. Isn't it?
Yes, exactly. Probably, no matter what influences are around, it's still up to each person to decide their own path. Sometimes we just need to step back and think, am I doing the right thing? Taking personal responsibility is huge because it's built integrity.
Right? It's about being able to look at yourself in the mirror and feel good about the choices you made. Even if no one's watching, it's all about knowing you did the right thing. And I think if more people practice that kind of self-reflection, we would see less of this moral decline.
Absolutely. But taking personal responsibility isn't always easy, especially if the right choice is also the harder one. It takes courage, and sometimes it means standing up for what you believe in, even if it's not popular. Have you noticed how rare is it nowadays to see people admit they made some mistake?
Oh, totally. It's almost like people are afraid to admit when they are wrong because it makes them look weak. But honestly, owning up to mistakes shows strength and boosts character. Maybe if we all admitted to our mistake a bit more openly, it would encourage others to do the same.
It's true, is it? And that brings us to self-discipline too. Part of personal responsibility is being able to control impulse and think before acting. For example, just because we can do something like post an unfiltered opinion online doesn't mean we should.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the same with how we spend our time, money, and energy. If young people learn the habit of self-discipline, they will be more likely to stick to their values, even when it's tough. This kind of personal responsibility creates a ripple effect in society.
And the good news is, personal responsibility is something anyone can practice, regardless of their background. if we can get the youth to focus on this from a young age, they will grow up to be individuals with strong character.
I agree with your statement. Alright, Danish, to wrap things up, let's talk about what kind of future we would like to see in terms of morality in our society. What's your vision for a more morally responsible world?
I think it's a world where people actually care about others, where we are not just focused on individual success, but also on lifting each other's up. Imagine a society where people make decisions based on what's good for everyone, not just for themselves. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Absolutely. And I would like to add to that a world where people respect each other's differences. We can have different values, different backgrounds, and still show kindness and respect. If we had more of that, I think society would be a lot more united.
And to get there, we need to keep talking about these things. Conversations like this are important because they remind us what really matters. I think if more people reflect on what it means to be a good person, we had already be on the right track.
Agreed, Danish. And we can all start by making small changes. Whether it's choosing to be honest, showing kindness in a small ways, or maybe helping someone without expecting anything in return. It all counts. When we see others acting morally, it encourages us to do the same.
And that is the beauty of morality. It's contagious. When we see people doing good, it inspires us to be a better too. It's all about creating a positive cycle in society where values are not just talked about, but actually practiced.
Exactly, Danish. We may not solve all the world's problems overnight, but with each small act, we contribute to a better society. And maybe, just maybe, we will inspire others to do the same. Here's to a future with more honesty, empathy, and respect.
Mend your pace, way to the beat. Hands up, embrace who you wanna be. We're reaching heights unseen.